Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than my normal videos, and this is going to be more of a type of writer's author vlog, and I'm going to be showing you all of the footage that I have been collecting, basically taking you through the entire process of me getting ready and getting prepared to finally go on submission with my graphic novel. And I'm going to take you through the clips of when my agent first sent me my edit letter and getting that sent back to him, as well as getting ready for submission and all the things that are involved with taking a middle grade graphic novel on submission. There is a certain list of things that need to be accomplished and turned into your agent beforehand that I had no clue about. I feel like there's more people like me that just don't know what they're doing. That's been my whole entire experience, and that's been my goal with this channel. Being able to just candidly share my experiences with all of you and hoping that I can help somebody else that maybe feels like me. So enjoy the next couple of clips of me just rambling on and on about all the things that I had to do to get my graphic novel ready. And without further ado, let the vlog begin. Hello friends! It has been a couple of days since I announced on my socials that I am officially agented, and I decided that I would start working on my agent's editorial vision and what they had really been wanting me to do and to change in the manuscript. We had actually discussed this at the Zoom meeting when my agent offered me representation, but one of the things that my agent had talked about with me was his certain editorial vision for my graphic novel and how he saw that playing out exactly. One of the main things me and my agent had discussed was that he really wanted a lot more of my main antagonist to come through in the storyline, because up until this point we really don't know why my antagonist is so mean and so awful to my main character. She just bullies her throughout the entirety of the book, and this is 8th grade, so you know, kids can be really mean in 8th grade and in middle school in general, but I never gave context or any specific examples as to why she was like this, my main antagonist. So my agent was like, hey, I think we can really make the story a whole ton stronger if you add in a lot more really strong moments of this main antagonist just struggling and going through her life and really struggling through school. And we can have it to where the reader will end up sympathizing with this character and just essentially make this character a little bit more human so that people can really feel for her, but also recognize that she is just an awful person and that she's just really struggling within herself. Another thing, so when I first started coming up with my brainstorming and all of the ideas behind what I wanted to do with this graphic novel, and when the idea even shifted to becoming a graphic novel because it was originally a novel, I grabbed this kind of just like, you know, normal like spiral notebook. All of my notes and brainstorming for this entire graphic novel has been in this lovely spiral. This spiral means so much to me. It is where my graphic novel was conceptualized in. It really helps me to just start scribbling down all the ideas I have. My agent discussed that he wanted me to add in 3 extra things. One thing being that he wanted a lot more background on my main antagonist and why she is so jealous of my main character. This is key to the storyline. I completely agree with his vision 100%. The second point he made was that he wanted throughout the manuscript for me to give hints of my main character still outperforming my main antagonist in a lot of ways. And lastly, he said, please just give me a lot more drama in this one scene between these characters. I could not be more excited to get to all these edits. I am just so thrilled. The idea of essentially this is like another R&R for me. It's like a second R&R because before my agent offered me representation, I did an R&R with him, and then eventually that led to my Zoom call and then my offer. So doing my first R&R was so beneficial to the storyline, and I will always say that R&Rs can only help a book grow that much stronger and will just help the story come out that much more amazing. I immediately was very much on board, and of course when you sign with someone, you're just thrilled to be working on this project with a professional that's going to help you get it into editors' hands. So I was very open to my agent's editorial vision and what he thought. We kind of had the exact same ideas for what we wanted to help strengthen the manuscript as a whole to just make it that much better. This story has just come to me so naturally and so effortlessly. I can't even tell y'all. The story just came out of me, and it has been such a dream to write and to bring to life. And these characters, I just feel like they were busting out of me and I needed to tell their story, and it just makes me happy that I have a story that I'm just so proud of and that my agent loves as well. The most exciting part is that I still have yet to bring it to life. I have not illustrated it yet. Yeah, being an author illustrator, it's a really crazy ride, and I'm starting to learn that, and I'm growing a lot, and I just cannot wait to be done with the editing of this book and getting all the line edits and the rounds of revision that we need to do. We can start submitting to editors, and then I can finally sell a book, get a book deal, fingers crossed, and be able to start illustrating and bringing this book to life. There are so many scenes, you guys, I have been itching and dying to illustrate. They've only ever been visions in my head and little doodles off to the side. Of course, I see everything very visual in my head. To me, like, writing the manuscript was like watching the Netflix show adaptation of my graphic novel, and that's just the way my mind is. But I just really want to be able to illustrate this graphic novel and to showcase this story. And as soon as I finish everything, I'm gonna go back and reread over everything in the manuscript, and then I'm gonna send it off to my agent and see what he says or what he thinks about it. Until then, I'll update once I have more, but that's my update as of now. Editing has been so much fun. It has been way too much fun, and I'm just gonna keep working on it, see what comes of all of this. It's been a little bit since my last update, and I just wanted to briefly talk a little bit about what's been going on. It is currently Thanksgiving. It's already late into the evening, and I've just been working on some edits that I sent off to my agent, and I've been working on some design stuff for some character sketches and some character turnaround views that my agent asked me for. Since I'm coming closer and closer going on submission, I just keep thinking, like, what is this gonna be like? What's the whole experience gonna be like for me? I just feel so on my own because I'm an author illustrator of a graphic novel, and people just don't talk about their graphic novel experiences ever. But the other day I was just sitting in my room and I was doing some work, and I was thinking, like, oh my god, like, when am I gonna go on submission? When is this book gonna feel ready? I asked my agent over a text, and I asked Dan, and I was like, hey, so how many rounds of revision or how much line editing do you think that my book's gonna need? And he was like, I really don't think it needs that much, just a little bit more tweaking. I've already turned in some character turnaround view sketches for him, because apparently that's what editors are looking for when it comes to you being an author illustrator. I already sent those to him. The character turnaround sketch views are basically, what does your character look like, or what do all of your main characters look like if you were to turn them 360? So I did those sketches, and then I went ahead and worked on some fun little character profiles that basically are just individual profiles of each of my main characters, talking about the simple things like their age, their ethnicity, their color of their skin, their eye color, hair color, what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what are their main goals in the story, what are they trying to accomplish, what are the things that they're afraid of most, their insecurities, and the character growth arc in a way. And I made one for each of my main characters, and I have quite a few main characters, so that took a long time to do, but I went ahead and drew those out, sent out those fun profiles to my agent as well. I kind of just been waiting for his edit letter so I can hear back from him and see what these final edits are. And I basically asked my agent the other day as well, and I was like, so when do you think we'll maybe be able to go on submission? And he was like, I'm thinking January. And I was like, okay. Exciting, but equally very stressful. When you go on submission with a graphic novel, being the author illustrator, it is already kind of required that you have a lot of the thumbnail sketches done for a good portion of maybe the first couple of chapters, the first chapter, the first part of your graphic novel. I have yet to illustrate those thumbnails because I've been waiting on my edit letter, and I don't want to illustrate something and spend all this time doing these illustrations of these thumbnails when I don't have the edit letter to even know what direction to go in to do these illustrations. This is now becoming more of a reality as we progress and go further. I obviously trust my agent, and I feel confident that he knows what he's doing and he knows how he's going to approach this. That's pretty much all. I just wanted to give a little update on that. So yeah, but for now, that is the only update that I have. Okay, excuse me looking like an actual egg right now, but I have another update that I wanted to share. A couple hours ago, I checked my email and I finally got my edit letter from my agent, and I'm very excited. I haven't looked at it yet. I have it in front of me, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at it and see what Dan said. So my agent just told me that he sent over that it's basically just line edits and one change for consistency. That was an inconsistency on my part. I said this certain character was one age and one part of the story, and then the other part of the story, I changed the age by 2 years, so that was just a small little error on my part. My agent says he thinks we'll be good to go in the new year to start going on submission and sending out to editors, so the confirmation that we're going to be going out on submission in 2025, that's still crazy to me to think about. I can't even wrap my head around the fact that's going to happen. He said he's going to start working on my pitch letter, and then he'll send that to me to review before we start going out on submission. But he said that he really liked all the additional scenes that I added in to the edits. Yeah, there's a fun little part in my book where there's a flashback scene with 2 characters, and I decided I wanted to give my agent a little shout out because I really love Dan, and he has been nothing but sweet and so kind. I only signed with him at the end of October, and we're in December. So when I was working on my edits that I was gonna send to him to then send me back the edit letter, I just thought it'd be fun in this one scene where there's a flashback to have this recruiter for a team be my agent's name. So I'm glad that he liked that. It makes me happy. But I'm gonna go ahead and read over the attached edit letter. I have been waiting for this for so long, and I'm excited that I finally get to dive into this. I haven't reread over the manuscript since I sent it to him a little while ago. I like to keep my head fresh, so I'm not constantly rereading over the manuscript over and over and over, but I'm gonna go ahead and look over that, and then I'm gonna ask him what to do from there, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to start sketching a lot of thumbnails for part 1 of my graphic novel because it's split into 4 separate parts. I'm gonna go ahead and read over the edit letter and make all of the corrections that he has, and then we'll just go from there. Okay, so it's already the next day, and last I talked to y'all, I was talking about how I just gotten my edit letter and my line edits. So I went ahead and completed all the line edits for my graphic novel last night, and honestly, I did not think it was going to be as fast as it was. I think it took me a little over an hour to do all the line edits for the entirety of the novel. Not what I was expecting at all. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer. My agent was not joking when he said that it was very minute changes. A lot of the line edits were literally just take out a comma, add a comma, capitalize this word, take out this word and replace it with this word. Really simple changes. So very grateful that it went as quickly as it did, and my manuscript is 111 pages typed up on a Word doc. Now is the fun part. This is the part I have been waiting for a very long time. Now I finally have to start drawing and sketching out all of my thumbnail sketches, the potential rough doodles and the rough drawings of what every graphic novel page is going to look like. I texted my agent last night and I was like, how far into the novel should I illustrate? And since my novel's broken into 4 parts, he was like, if you can just have up to part 1 done, that would be great, and then we can go on submission. I asked him around what time he would want all of these illustrations done by, and he said around middle of January. So it's December 12th. That gives me roughly, I gave myself a deadline of January 15th, which is roughly around the mid section of January. So I have about a little over a month to complete all the thumbnail sketches for part 1. When I was doing the line editing last night, part 1 is on the Google Doc. It's pages 1 through 28. That's a considerable amount of things to draw. That's almost a fourth of my story that I have to have completely sketched out and ready in the graphic novel format in a month. So I definitely have my work cut out for me. I'm very eager to start, but it's also become like this extremely daunting task that I just feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself with. I already told myself that when it came time to illustrating the graphic novel that it was going to be a big feat. I mean, it was going to take me a really long long time to do this. Now that I actually have the green light from my agent telling me, okay, start doing the thumbnail sketches, it's getting more real. Everything's starting to happen and things are moving, and I'm getting a little nervous about it, and definitely the imposter syndrome is hitting me really hard. Sometimes I feel like I can't do this and this is gonna be way too big of a challenge for me, and this project was way too ambitious and I should have never done this in the first place. But then there's this other logical side of me that's always like, of course you got this, why are you giving yourself these thoughts? Because I know I can do this. Also, a lot of pressure writing on these thumbnail sketches because this is what we are going to go on submission with to editors, and this is what all of the big publishing houses are going to be seeing, and this is going to determine if they want me, alongside obviously my writing and the story. So no pressure there. I will keep you updated on once I have started the illustrating process for the thumbnail sketches. Hello everybody. It's been a while since I last vlogged and kind of gave an update with how my graphic novel has been going and how all that's been doing. I basically dedicated all of December and the beginning of January going into the new year to work entirely on my thumbnail sketches for part 1 of my graphic novel. And I had a lot of fun with drawing all the thumbnail sketches, and I even kept a schedule to keep myself in check of when to have certain things be due, and that I was getting work done every single day so that I wouldn't fall behind, because when I last talked with my agent, we had discussed when we were going to go on submission, and I'm currently rereading over my manuscript again for the 1000th time. I'm just looking over the line edits one more time, making sure everything looks as polished as it can be. I don't know, I just feel a lot of pressure with going on submission because I've never gone on submission before, and this is the first time ever, and I just want to show editors what I can do. I feel like there's a lot writing on the line here, but I'm trying to not be overwhelmed and not stressed about it at all. And just the other day, I finally finished all of my thumbnail sketches for all of part 1 of my graphic novel, which I was so excited about. I was working every single day, minus New Year's and Christmas, on doing those sketches. My back is killing me. I'm in so much pain. But I'm just so glad that that is over with and that I have all the sketches complete. Like I said, now currently I'm just working on rereading over the entire manuscript, seeing if I can catch any more grammatical errors before I turn in the entirety of the book. I just really wanted to get on here and talk about how I started writing this book in August of 2022. It's January of 2025, and I'm about to go on submission with this book. In rereading over the manuscript, there are still scenes in this book that make me so happy and just so fluttery and giddy inside. First crushed butterflies, all of the wholesome happy vibes. It reminds me of why I love this book so much and why I am just so excited to be able to share it with all of you one day. It's just made me so happy, and it brings me so much joy getting to reread over this, putting in those last minute edits, because it'll have been worth all the time that I've taken, all the countless hundreds of hours that I have spent on making sure this manuscript is the best it can be, not only for the middle grade audience that I wrote it for, but for anyone that ever were to pick up this graphic novel and read it. I just hope that it touches so many people. Any reader from anywhere, of any ethnicity, race, sexuality, however you identify, they'll be able to pick up this book and just feel or see just a small part of themselves in it. I guess that's the goal of being an author, and when you're an author illustrator, you hope that both your writing and your illustrating can impact people in a positive way, and that's exactly what I want to strive to have in my author career, to impact people in a positive, kind way, to spread the joy and the happiness that I have inside with other people, because I feel like that's my job on this earth while I'm given this life. I feel like I just want to spread my love for writing and illustrating with as many people as I can possible, especially kids, because I love kids. Yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm just trying to be really positive. There's a lot of mixed feelings, and this book feels like my best friend. It's just a super close friend that I have shared so many vulnerable moments with, writing at my laptop, and just it's been there through it all. It has seen the worst of me. It has seen my ugly tears. It has seen my really happy blushing. I just really hope that this book makes it, and that an editor falls in love with it, and that it becomes just something amazing and wonderful that I can share with kids everywhere and anywhere. That a kid can pick up this book and see themselves in it, or feel like they belong. Maybe I can help a kid to reconsider their life and to just really understand that life is beautiful. Life is full of amazing, happy things, but it does have its challenges and its setbacks and its difficulties, and now I feel like this is becoming a therapy session. So I just wanted to give that tiny little update. I'm about to send off everything to my agent and basically just throw it at Dan. We'll see what happens from there, but that is my current update. So yesterday was January 22nd, and my agent finally sent me the pitch letter that he's going to send out to the first batch of editors when we go on submission with. He asked me just to look over the pitch letter and see if there was anything that I thought could be changed or that needed fixing. Ultimately, I ended up just fixing some minor things. I was looking over a little bit of the pitch for the synopsis of the story, and then I went ahead and sent off the pitch letter back to Dan, and he told me that he was going to let me know once everything was ready for the pitch packet, and then I asked him if I could review over everything because I'm a perfectionist, and that's how I've always been, especially when it comes to a project that I just feel so involved in. And this is my first time ever doing and pursuing this professional author career. My agent was like, yeah, sure, I'll send you the full pitch packet once it's ready. I should have it ready by tomorrow. And my agent sent me the pitch packet, so I'm gonna make another video about this for another day. But a lot of people don't know what goes into getting a graphic novel ready to go on submission when you're gonna send it out to editors. A lot of people don't know what that entails and all of the things and components that you have to get ready so that you can pitch your graphic novel to editors. My agent has just been working really hard trying to get everything ready for me, and I'd already worked on all of these different things over the holidays, including character art, sample sketches, thumbnail sketches, character profiles, character turnaround sketches, so many different things that go into this graphic novel. And my agent compiled it all, and he was like, go ahead and look over the pitch packet and let me know. So I looked over everything and was able to access all of the art links that he put for editors to be able to click on so that they can access all of my artwork and my sample art portfolio and everything that I had ready to put on display for this graphic novel. Then I just texted my agent after. I was like, so hypothetically speaking, when do you think we'll be able to go on submission? Dan was like, oh, well, as soon as you turn in the last edit for the manuscript, since everything's already ready. Yeah, sure, no pressure. Okay, I was like, I'll get that back to you by the weekend. And then yeah, so I guess that means that I'm officially taking my graphic novel on submission on Monday. I don't even know what day is Monday. What day is Monday? January 27th, at the very end of the month. Yeah, it's all happening very quickly. It's all coming together. I know a lot of people say that when you go on sub, it's just like querying again. It's just more waiting and waiting for an editor to respond. But I'm trying to stay as optimistic and positive as I can through this entire experience, because I just feel like that's going to help me more mentally to get through this and to come out of this experience stronger, because I don't want to go into this thinking negatively and thinking this is going to be the worst and it's going to be so much waiting, because I just don't want to go about it that way. And if I can enter this experience and this first step into this author journey with my head held high, that's how I want to go about it. I'm super excited. The next time I see you, I will officially be on submission with my graphic novel, and I'll talk more then. As of now, this is me about to go on submission, not yet on submission. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna be wearing this sweatshirt from here on out because it's so cold. So I actually forgot to film yesterday, but yesterday was the first day that I went on submission. Today's currently day 2, and I actually completely forgot to film something for day 1. So I'm gonna update on what happened yesterday and talk a little bit about the newest update that I received this morning from my agent. So yesterday was Monday, January 27th, and me and my agent officially went out on submission with my graphic novel. I actually heard nothing from my agent. There were no updates, and I really didn't hear anything from any editors, which is obviously to be expected because it had only been one day. And when I woke up this morning, my agent sent me a text letting me know that we had an editor respond and they were stepping aside. And honestly, I thought querying would have prepared me for what was going to happen, but ultimately I feel like this one just kind of hit hard because it was an editor from a really big house, and I was really excited to see and hear what any editors would say from the very beginning once we went on sub. And having this editor to decline was not gonna lie, a little difficult. I did sit for a bit and slightly spiraled a little bit, but I'm much better now. I have more of a level head now. We're back into knowing that not every editor is going to love my graphic novel, and that is okay. This editor actually responded and said that they loved the premise. They immediately dove into it, and the only reason why they were going to step aside was because they couldn't connect to my art. Because while my premise felt very middle grade, my art felt a little bit more below middle grade, and for that reason, that was why they were going to step aside. And I already knew it was going to be the biggest challenge going into trying to get this career started, that was going to be a really big hurdle for me to have to jump over. My agent made me feel a lot better, and he let me know that he really liked my illustrations and he felt like there was a place for them in the market. And as we all know with this industry, everything is so horridly subjective that you can't let it beat you down. If worst comes to worst and we get feedback from all of the editors saying kind of the same thing as what this editor said, then I'm probably going to have to figure out how to draw a little bit more differently to make my illustrations look a little bit more mature. It's obviously not something I want to do because I loved my illustrations and that's my style of artwork, but if that's what it's going to take for me to get this graphic novel out into the world and get published one day, I will fight to make sure that this book makes it, because I believe that this story is just way too good to be passed up and to not get published. And another thing I do want to say is that right before we went on sub, since everything had already been finalized and ready, my agent went ahead and sent out to a small indie publisher that wasn't like a big five, and the editor responded back and said that he loved the premise, he loved the entire story. The only reason why he was stepping aside was because they didn't have the budget to currently print my graphic novel. Because if you don't know already, my graphic novel is a chunky one and it's going to be a massive project in itself, and I already knew this, and it's fully in color using the most aesthetic, colorful pastel palette I've ever used before in a project. So I completely understood why this editor passed. It was a really nice pass, and I just have to get used to every editor is going to have a different reason for passing. It might be, you know, they couldn't connect with the story or something with the premise or something in the character arc, or maybe it was the artwork or whatever it's going to be. So as of now, I currently have 2 editor passes, which is fine considering that we're only on day 2 of submitting, and my agent had to submit to this other editor that passed but loved everything. He submit to him, I think it was about almost a week ago, but he actually submit to him before we went on sub, about 3 or 4 days prior. See how it goes from here and see what the other editors actually do respond. We're going to see what they say and see if we can make this book fit a little bit better. Unless someone finds it and loves it and resonates with it, then of course, like, I would be very happy about that, but we'll see how the rest of it goes. This is the end of my going on sub vlog. I hope that you were able to take away something. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about all the things and the components that are needed to be done in order to take a graphic novel on sub, and the ways that I communicate with my agent in order to get this book ready. As of now, still going strong on sub. We have currently entered into week 3 of being on sub. I don't know what the normal span of time is for when you should start to hear back from editors, how that's supposed to go about, but I'm trying to remain very positive and just remaining hopeful and optimistic that something amazing happens. Obviously, the publishing industry is a very slow industry, and you just never know what can happen. One minute you could be unagented, one day later you can be agented. Things can just flip on a dime so quickly. And for all of you that are either waiting for your agent or waiting on that email or that call, or if you are about to go on sub and you're very anxiously nervous and excited but also waiting at the same time, just remember, you got this, okay? We're all in this together. If any of you ever just want to shoot me a DM or message me, I'll link my Twitter and my Instagram below so that you can always reach out to me. I love being able to help people and to just encourage and motivate other writers, author, illustrators in the writing community. That's where I have been able to find my people, and I've made so many close friends now just from being on social media alone, and I'm just so excited to continue making more friends, and I love being able to share my insight and what I have learned so far with as many people as possible. If you did enjoy today's vlog, please leave me a thumbs up and comment down below what part of your author journey that you're currently in. Are you about to get an agent? Are you currently querying? Are you about to go on sub? Are you doing line edits? Are you brainstorming a new work in progress? I want to know everything. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!